Hey everyone, and welcome back to Fireside Chat. I've got a story for you today that might just make your head spin. And I want you to really put yourself in this guy's shoes. Imagine this: you're happily married to your new wife, a woman you love, but she keeps making derogatory comments about your ex-wife's weight. You ask her to stop, and she turns around and accuses you of still being in love with your ex. So let me ask you, what do? Because this is exactly the mess our narrator, a 45-year-old man, found himself in. A few years ago, my life felt like it was in pieces. My ex-wife, a woman I'd spent over 2 decades with, had divorced me. We had kids together, a whole history, and suddenly, it was just gone. It was tough, a real gut punch. I felt like I was drifting, trying to find my footing again in a world that felt unfamiliar. Then I met Sarah. She was 29, vibrant and full of life. She had this laugh that could fill a room and an energy that was infectious. I was 45, a bit weathered from the divorce, and frankly, I was shocked that someone like her was even interested in me. She was a breath of fresh air, a new chapter, and before I knew it, we were in love. We got married, and for the most part, life felt good again. The future was bright, and I was excited to build a life with her. But, as with most things in life, there was a wrinkle. Now, let me be honest here, and this might sound a little strange. I've always been a thin guy, but I've always been attracted to women who are on the heavier side. My ex-wife, bless her heart, was quite a bit heavier than my current wife, Sarah, who's also on the heavier side. It's just a personal preference, a physical type I'm drawn to. It's not something I really think about, it just is. So, when Sarah and I would talk about my past, my ex would occasionally come up. It's inevitable, she's the mother of my kids, so she's part of my life. But every time, Sarah would make some comment about her weight. Something like, "Your ex-wife is so fat," or "I can't believe how big she is." It was always said with a sneer, a dismissive tone that really rubbed me the wrong way. It wasn't just a simple observation, it was a nasty jab. It felt like she was trying to put my ex down, and I just couldn't stand it. The first time she did it, I just let it slide. I figured maybe she was just being a little insensitive and didn't realize how it sounded. We've all been there, right? But it kept happening. It became a recurring thing, a pattern, and with each comment I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. It wasn't just that she was insulting my ex, it was that she was body-shaming her. And I just don't have time for that. No one deserves to be talked about like that, especially not someone who is a good person, and more importantly, the mother of my children. We had our issues, sure, but she's a good person, and she doesn't deserve to be ridiculed for her weight. One day, it happened again. We were sitting on the couch, and something came up about the kids, and Sarah said something about my ex's weight, something particularly cutting. I don't remember the exact words, but I remember how they made me feel, angry and disappointed. I took a deep breath and said, "Sarah, can you please stop talking about my ex's weight? It's really not cool." And that's when things went sideways. She got quiet for a second, a dangerous kind of quiet, and then she looked at me with this wounded expression. She said, "Why are you defending her? Do you still love her?" Just like that, out of nowhere. I was completely floored. I wasn't defending her because I was still in love with her. I was defending her because it was the right thing to do. It was a matter of respect and decency. I tried to explain. "Sarah, I love you. You know I do. You're my wife, my life. But my ex is the mother of my children, and she's a good person. It's just not right to talk about anyone like that, especially not her. It's body shaming. And I don't want to hear it." But she wasn't having it. She was convinced that my request was a sign that I was still hung up on my ex. She seemed to think that the only reason I'd want her to stop was if I still had feelings for the other woman. She couldn't seem to grasp the idea that a person could be a decent human being and not want their loved ones, even their ex, to be ridiculed. I tried to make her understand that my love for her and my respect for my ex weren't mutually exclusive. They were two separate things. But she was hurt, and her hurt was turning into anger. I went around in circles for a while. She would bring up my past, and I would try to bring the conversation back to the present, to us, to the fact that I didn't want this kind of negativity in our home. But she kept coming back to the same point. "You're just defending her because you still love her." It was a dead end. And honestly, It made me question a lot of things. Was my love for her not as clear as I thought? Was she so insecure that she couldn't handle me standing up for someone else? Was I wrong to ask her to stop? I just wanted her to understand that I love her, but I also have a right to not hear someone I care about being insulted, regardless of who they are. It was a no-win situation. I felt like I was being forced to choose between my wife's feelings and my own sense of what's right. So, I'm stuck. I love my wife. I don't want to fight with her. But I also can't stand her body shaming my ex, the mother of my kids. I've tried to explain, but it feels like she's just not hearing me. She's got this idea in her head that my love for her is conditional, that I'm still pining for my ex, and it's just not true. It's a real head-scratcher. I just don't know what to do. So, I have to ask, am I the asshole here? Is it wrong of me to ask my wife to show a little decency toward my ex, even if it hurts her feelings? What would you do in my situation? I'm genuinely curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below,